Good morning, YouTube. Well, I was doing a little research on this Glade Plugins Scented Oil Light Show air freshener. I ran across a few interesting tidbits of information that I thought made a little backstory for this product. And so I found these web pages that had some interesting information. I didn't have room to fit them in the previous video, so I thought I'd put them in a separate video to show some of the backstory of one of these consumer electronics products. So this was the press release that SC Johnson did for the Glade plugins. They called this the Scented Oil Light Show. And it looks like they were really targeting this around the tweens and teens, yet appeals to adults too. Quite a lengthy press release, and you have to realize that in 2006, things with colored LEDs were pretty unique. It wasn't a common thing to find. That's actually why I ended up buying this. I was just interested in the color changing LEDs. I thought that was a pretty neat looking effect. Here's the suggested retail price, $11.99, and then $2.99 for the oil refills. The Glade Plugins Scented Oil Light Show, they even had their own web page, scentedoillightshow.com. And when I went to the scentedoillightshow.com web page, it was not online anymore, but through the magic of the Internet Archive Wayback Machine, we can take a look at this August 2006 capture. So that's their home page. Pretty minimal. They have some information about the product here. There's some pictures of the original retail packaging and a little description of it. They have the directions there. Talk about all the button presses, and there's frequently asked questions. They don't give any power consumption information. Here is their super slumber party instructions. So like I say, they were really targeted this product, I guess, around the teenage girl market. That was their website that they set up for this product when it was introduced. But I looked up the Who Is registration. It's still registered to SC Johnson and Sons Incorporated, Racine, Wisconsin. And one of the other tidbits I found was that SC Johnson partnered with this company called Kinetics to do the electronics part of that product. Kinetics, a leading innovator of LED lighting systems and technologies. Probably the ZIC ROX R1.0 ASIC that's in this particular product here was done by this Kinetics company. Let me look at Kinetics. They are now part of Philips. So it's Philips Kinetics. And you can see they still have color changing LEDs, so it looks like they've kept going with that from their early beginnings. Now it's pretty common to see this sort of thing. 2006, that was a pretty unique product. One other thing I found, I mentioned in the previous video, is there was a patent filed that used components of this air freshener. But this was a fellow named Jesse Billen. He came up with this idea of a facial tissue container with integrated nightlight. His idea was to basically make a box that you could fit over a container of bathroom facial tissues, and then he put the electronics, the LED, and controller circuitry inside of a clear panel in front of that box. So this would basically be a box that you set over the top of a container of tissues, and then it would have this nightlight. So there's the transformer, and then he basically pulled the circuit board out of the air freshener, didn't use the air freshener part, and there's all the parts to it. So there you can see there's the chip on board. That's the ROX R1.0 ASIC right there. Here's the 3 LEDs, so that's basically what the back of that circuit board looks like. And I guess he mounted it then on a some sort of a mounting plate. And that's what it looks like. I guess this is his piece that he came up with because he needed to put the two switches someplace. So anyway, that is this patent. My guess is the guy probably had an idea, oh, that would be neat to put this inside of something else. And he obtained this patent in 2007, so about a year after the product was announced. Instead of spending a lot of money designing his own electronics, he just cannibalized one of these, so he could buy one of these for $12, tear it apart, build his prototype to get the patent application filed. And then I imagine his idea was that he would shop this around various companies to see if any company would take the bait and then purchase the patent rights from him. And apparently that didn't happen, because down here at the bottom, so it looks like in 2014, reminder fee, and in November, lapse of failure to pay, and then in January 2015, expired due to failure to pay maintenance fee. And that maintenance fee is about $7,000, I think, on a patent like this. I looked that up. He still had to spend some money on this, because I looked up the cost to patent a consumer electronics product, and you're looking at about $14,000 more or less to do this patent application. So I'm wondering if he might have gone to one of these, you see these TV ads, if you got a great idea, contact us and we'll help you get your product, patented. And apparently it didn't pay off. Anyway, I thought that was kind of an interesting twist on this product. Just some of the things that happen behind the scenes of a low-end commercial electronics product like this Light Show air freshener. When I read that patent application where the fellow had repurposed the LEDs out of one of these air fresheners, that brought back memories of what I wanted to do with this at one point. So I have one of these ceramic Christmas tree with the way they make these, it's all molded ceramic, and then there's little holes, and you have an assortment of clear plastic colored lights that you put in there. And normally there's a 4-watt incandescent nightlight bulb in the middle. And I was thinking it would be really neat to use that fading LED light in there and just show you what it looks like here. This would only work with color changing LED, because those 3 colored LEDs essentially put out 3 wavelengths of light. So you have a blue here and a green, and if you watch, so the green here is green when the green's on. Now the blue one has the slight blue there. Now the blue and green are off. When the green's on, it kind of turns a teal color, and then it goes to a more bluish color. And the clear ones actually show up pretty much all the different colors. Like this one here, I think, is a clear. And the red ones only turn on when the red light's on. So I think that makes kind of a neat effect. The reason I didn't go forward with it was, one, the hole in the bottom here isn't big enough to fit this whole thing in there, so I would have had to cut this down. And the other main reason is because you can see, if I turn this around, there's not a lot of light that gets thrown out the backside. It's kind of directional, and the very bottom lights here don't light up very much, and the ones way on the top also don't light up, because it's throwing the light kind of out to the sides. But I've found a similar light that I'm going to be picking up to put in here, and I'll show you what that looks like when I get it. And I think that'll throw a lot more light around. So anyway, that was my plan at one point, to reuse the light. So I just found it was really interesting that somebody actually went to the trouble and significant expense to actually patent an idea like that. I guess I should have patented this idea. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that look inside a consumer electronics product, sort of a little bit of a behind the scenes look at that. Well, if you have any clever ideas to use one of these, post that up in the comment section below. I'll put the link to the other videos about this product up in the upper right corner, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel for updates. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, thanks for watching.